Now, back in July, I made this video talking about the Firefly Funhouse puppets and how they could be here to harm the WWE Universe. Of course, the clue is in the name. Huskus the Pig Boy, H. Abby the Witch, A. Ramblin' Rabbit, R. And Mercy the Buzzard, M. But, of course, it's been a long time since July, and we have seen a lot of character development with some of these puppets. Not only that, but generally, they are without a doubt the most over thing right now in WWE, bar Bray Wyatt himself. It's crazy in 2019 that we go absolutely mad at the sight of Ramblin' Rabbit dressed up as Seth Rollins, or Mercy the Buzzard eating Ramblin' Rabbit, or Huskus the Pig Boy having a different kind of candy. But we do. Even though we want dream matches and more athleticism from WWE, we'll watch an entire 3-hour Raw just for a sight of Ramblin' Rabbit. So we are going to be talking about nothing but the puppets on this episode and what importance they could play within the Bray Wyatt character and story. But if you are new to the channel, I need to ask you now if you'd be so kind to hit that subscribe button. You can turn on notifications as well if you like. Of course, like the video. It really does help it rank up on YouTube. Share it on social media so your friends can find it and they can have their say. And more importantly, have your say down in the comment section below. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the Vince McMahon puppet, or the bus puppet, as it's called on WWE Shop. And this is kind of strange because the bus puppet looks nothing like Vince McMahon. Okay, it might have very similar attire, but the face, the hair, the horns, none of them are the same. But I can only think this is because Vince McMahon doesn't want a puppet of him being made. Because imagine some of the memes and some of the things that some people would do with that puppet. Vince McMahon doesn't want that. And unlike the other 4 puppets, the Vince McMahon puppet, the Devil Vince, it doesn't actually fit into the Bray Wyatt story. And I feel like that's why it's not featured very often. The other 4 puppets are all representations of things from Bray Wyatt's past. Mercy the Buzzard, Waylon Mercy. Husky Harris from Huskus the Pig Boy. And of course, Ramblin' Rabbit, his old promos. And then you come to Abby the Witch, Sister Abigail. But what role do these puppets play today? Well, very simply, Bray Wyatt is a cult leader. And you might be thinking, but he's not anymore. The gimmick's changed. The gimmick might have changed, but the character stays the same. Bray Wyatt, since we've ever seen him in WWE, down in NXT, has always been a cult leader. And Funhouse Bray is no different. He is a cult leader. And I kind of think that the whole point of the Funhouse is to make us happy, to make us like Bray Wyatt. Look at these children. We've seen these in the Funhouse many times, but they're never happy. They're always down, they're always gloomy. Look, one of them's got a sombrero on his head and he's still upset. But the puppets are there to lure you in. They're there to let Bray in. They're there to trust Bray Wyatt. And when you trust Bray Wyatt and you let him in, you become a Firefly, and the puppets are responsible for that. Episode 1 of the Funhouse, we saw Bray cut this cardboard cutout of him. And this represented the old Bray Wyatt, the cult leader who did disastrous things. This was a memory that he kept close by, so he didn't actually go back to his dastardly ways. And he cut it up. He got rid of the memory of doing those dastardly things. And now he can do those dastardly, horrible things once again. And of course, the puppets let him do it. In the Firefly Funhouse, you get this overtone that he does respect the Abby the Witch doll. So if he actually respects her, why does he not listen to her? Why is it always Abby the Witch saying, "You've done it again"? Obviously, she's offered him advice in the past. So why would she not be now? Of course she is. But he ignores her. Why is that? And I like the fact that you get this evolution with the puppets within the Funhouse. Now, if you enjoy talking about the puppets, you can go on the channel and see who is Ramblin' Rabbit, a video we did about 2 months ago. Really good views as well, so thank you for that. And of course, who is Abby the Witch? I really enjoyed making both of these. It was really cool, so make sure you go and check them out after this video as well. Now, recently, I've gone off the idea of all the puppets becoming WWE superstars. I kind of liked the idea at first, But lately, I kind of just want more Bray Wyatt. However, I still do want Abby the Witch to play a role. And I think this is easily gut round, because you could easily say that she is a witch. The character of Sister Abigail / Abby the Witch is a witch. So if she's a demonic witch, why could she not transport her soul into another WWE superstar, preferably Liv Morgan? It's been discussed on this channel to death. I'm sorry, I know some of you really hate the idea, but I genuinely love the fact that you could have a female fiend style character. Even if they are on Raw and SmackDown, it makes no difference. The Funhouse could be co-branded. I kind of like the idea of just Abby sort of evolving into a new character. Remember, Sister Abigail knew who the Fiend was long before anyone else did. She warned Bray about the man in the woods who turned out to be the Fiend. Now, the other character I want to see developed a little bit more is Ramblin' Rabbit. We always hear him being skeptical and always being a bit down about everything. He's very, very curious about what's going on in the Funhouse, and he always tries to tell us that. He always tries to tell us that what's going on, really, but he never gets a chance. He always dies repeatedly, or the Bray Wyatt himself stops him. So, what could that represent? Well, I was thinking about this today. And why couldn't it represent someone that always loses? I mean, a couple of months ago, that could have easily been Kurt Hawkins. He was on a losing streak. I mean, you could have the Fiend beat someone multiple times, like 10 times or something in a row, and have this guy go into hell because he can't get the win over Bray, and then turn him into Ramblin' Rabbit. Could that fear be a loss? Could it be a power thing between the Funhouse puppets? I don't know, but it's kind of cool. Now, of course, the title of the video is Let's Talk Puppets. So I really wanted, and I thought it was important, to go onto Twitter today and ask you guys your thoughts about the Funhouse puppets so you could have your say and we can discuss what you guys want to talk about. Well, we did get so many replies. We start off with Josh. I don't know if anyone has talked about this, but when the Funhouse began, Abby the Witch sounded different than how she does now. And I completely agree, dude. She had a more feminine voice. Now it's a bit deeper and darker. I do think this was just an actor change, though. Nothing really important. Alex said, my favourite is Ramblin' Rabbit. He always tells them to be careful and what to do and what not to do and not to bother him. And you're right, I love the element of fear that Ramblin' Rabbit has for the Fiend. Kofi says the puppets don't actually exist. That's why we didn't see them during burning down of the Funhouse. Only noises of them. Honestly, I've seen this theory before and I think it's completely true. Mainly because we saw the puppets backstage on WWE and no one actually saw them. The superstars walked straight past them every single time. So it's plausible. Kip Clip said, I want to see the puppets out of the Funhouse again, but not sure how they could be involved in matches or angles. I would love to see that. I wouldn't mind them just popping up backstage now and again. You could keep the Fiend off of TV for a week or two and just have a puppet sighting. Because, let's be honest, that was really cool. And it made you watch every backstage segment. In the ring, I think it would be very hard to do no matter what you do. Unless they pop up through the middle of it, it would be seen by the fans. Mohammed said, my favourite is Ramblin' Rabbit. I was pretty sad when he died when Seth burned down the Firefly Funhouse. Glad he's back. Dude, same. My favourite is Ramblin' Rabbit as well, by the way. And just to burst your bubble a little bit, didn't he actually get eaten by Mercy the Buzzard? So technically, Ramblin' Rabbit's still dead. Stylish Class said, want to see them much more now, especially the Vince puppet as well as Ramblin' Rabbit. Plus some new ones would be interesting. Seth Rollins' puppet would be interesting. Well, we've already kind of seen a Seth Rollins one. Obviously, Ramblin' Rabbit dressed up as him. The Vince puppet we spoke about earlier on. I kind of feel like because he's not under the Bray Wyatt's control, it's kind of optional to bring him back, but he's not really probably ever going to be highly featured. But I do like the idea of new Funhouse puppets. So, of course, that got me thinking, what about this guy? This is a random sheep puppet I found online, but let's call him Something Sheep. And of course it makes sense because do you remember the cult leader days? Do you remember Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman's masks were sheep? Why could we not see a brand new sheep puppet in the funhouse? I come up with something sheep. You let me know your thoughts on the name in the comment section below. But of course, that doesn't have to be the only new puppet. You could have an actual human puppet, or you have maybe like a bookworm or something if he's battling some kind of geek or a nerd, someone that likes video games or something, someone that likes reading. Maybe you can go to AEW and take on those librarian people that we don't like, and maybe he could have a bookworm puppet. Honestly, the possibilities are endless, and that's why I genuinely do like the Funhouse, and I like the puppets, because you could introduce a new one at any time, at any stage, and I think within literally an hour, people would be accepting of it, people would be all over it, especially my new favourite creation, Something Sheep. Now, let me know your thoughts, and also a new name for Something Sheep in the comment section down below. Of course, like the video, share it with your friends on social media, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will, as always, see you next time. Peace!